Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of Inspired Action, where we dive into the most pressing leadership challenges and hope to inspire you to take a more coach-centered and people-focused approach to leadership. I'm your host, Kyle Pertuis, and it's time to get started with our three amazing guests for today. Welcome to another episode of Inspired Action. I'm your host, Kyle Pertuis, and I'm here with three amazing guests today. First of all, we'll start with Marcie Lieberman, a long background in the luxury hospitality space with vast experience ranging from managing director to entrepreneur, is currently the co-founder of Kyanite Company. I hope I said that right. A dynamic consultancy bringing brand culture to life, listen to this, by aligning an organization's actions, behaviors, and operational outcomes with core values. Amazing work. Marcie, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Secondly, Dawn Cruz-Keener. Dawn has over 25 years of experience in human resources, most recently with talent practices and leadership coaching. She's got multiple certifications, including being a coach, various human resource disciplines, diversity and inclusion, leadership development, and has worked for Fortune 50 companies and been a consultant providing leadership development, talent management strategies for some time. So Dawn, welcome to you as well. And last but not least, Wendy Irwin, owner of, and you're probably going to have to help say this word, but owner of Wendy Irwin Coaching and
Perspicacity.
That's exactly right. Perspicacity. You'll have to explain that to us later. Whose careers range from starting out as an opera singer to a handbag designer to a mentor for creatives. And it wasn't until she became a coach and a trainer that she really feels like she found her true calling. Now she's helping adventurous and successful entrepreneurs redefine their legacy. Listen to this. Her mission: dare you to unmute yourself, to believe in the power of your voice, to change your life, your work, and your world. Isn't that awesome? Can't wait to hear from each of you. Wendy, so glad to have you as well. All right. So how do you reward growth, not just achievement, right? So maybe somebody's saying, okay, I'll be curious. I'm willing to learn that, but maybe they're not catching on super quick, so that they're learning, but they're growing and they're stepping into that new role as a first-time manager or whatever it might be.
I think that if somebody puts in the time and the effort to grow, the more you trust them, the more they're going to do that. And that in its own way is its own reward. But then maybe it looks a little bit like more responsibility or more personal investment in how it moves, like how it works, what's the process, what are the policies. Because when you have that, I think that is its own reward. Because if you really look at it, most people aren't saying, okay, I'm at this job because I'm making X amount of dollars every 2 weeks or whatever. It's usually like I'm fulfilled. I get a say. I have, things I love to do. So that's, to me, I think it's just more trust. Can I double down on trust?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of becomes built in, right? I like it.
So what I will say is I was actually having a very similar conversation to this one yesterday with a group of leaders. And the growth piece came around helping people understand that you can take a lateral move, you can pick up an assignment in a different area, and allow those opportunities to help you grow skill set or gain exposures to other leaders. There's in the corporate setting, you'll see a lot of, I want to move up. Well, what does that mean? You might need to move sideways a couple of times before you can really move up, right? And helping people understand what that looks like and that it's okay to take those steps to the side. Because it's all in preparation, right? And it's all in, you need one more skill, or, you need to, really hone in on how you communicate, your executive presence, things like that, and allowing people those opportunities to be in those positions, right? It just, their toolkit keeps getting bigger, and, their opportunities to practice, to learn, be able to showcase their skill set, right? It's greater. So kind of going back, to the conversation I was having with some of these leaders is, what is that thing that you're going to allow the employee to do? Or are we okay to start swapping people around into different roles?
Yeah, I love that. And again, the intentionality is there with it, right? Even just with the question that you're asking. that puts the seed in their mind to say, oh, I need to be more intentional about this so I can make a conscious choice. Perfect. Marcie, what would you piggyback on that?
And can I double down on
Yeah, double down.
trust and
Oh, that's like
also
quadrupling down.
Dawn's broad-based succession? I'm going to double down on all of that. But I also think one of the benefits of learning and curiosity is the personalization and the stronger engagement that comes with that. And people start to thrive in that. So looking at the benefit is really, people are seen and heard and rewarding that. I think the more you have that trust, you're aware of their path. I come from an industry where there's no one set path, say, to becoming a managing director or a corporate director of operations or any position that you might be talking about. And so it's really, as John said, it's maybe taking a sidestep, or, even from a title, people would think stepping back, but truly your learning exposure and your development and your knowledge base and becoming that master in something is incredibly expanded. I don't know if that's answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And the irony that you doubled down on somebody already doubling down, and the fact that you live in Las Vegas just kind of fits right in there. You guys all kind of alluded to this, but I'm going to throw in, because I just read something just by happenstance yesterday. Actually, wasn't even looking at it from this perspective, but I think sharing that personal learning, and I'm reminded of this in so many of the leadership experiences that we do, how much growth happens when people can share their own experiences, namely those lessons that come from failures and successes, but largely, I did it this way for a long time, and this is what I learned. And then really, how are they modeling that continuous growth? And what I was reading was something along the lines of an interview with various players years ago, basketball players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, the greatest of the great. And the question was, what do you attribute your growth in the game and getting better? Almost every single one of them mentioned failure in their answer, right? And so it's just going back to, Marcie, what you said about the expectation around curiosity and learning. I think there's an expectation that part of growth and part of being curious and part of learning is not being able to do it. And so you stick with it. All those other skills that we don't always recognize show up as we follow that path, even if it means lateral moves for a little while, right, Don? Like you were talking.
Well, that's a wrap for another edition of Inspired Action, the Leadership Forecast. We're so grateful for our guests today and the impact they're making with the work they do. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel to watch the longer version of this episode, and be sure to like, comment, connect with, and follow me and each of our guests. You'll find all of our links in the caption of this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in every Thursday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern for new episodes.